Now, the other great thing about Christianity is it answers why is there suffering. And one of the key questions that a lot of Christians can't even answer because they haven't thought it through, really. If your God is a God of love, why is there so much suffering in the world? Isn't that a typical Christian objection that we receive all the time? Our answer is God uses suffering to bring about positive changes. If we look at life, if we look at ourselves through God's eyes, if we view things biblically, then we can see that God is trying to do something. We might not know what it is, but we trust Him, and God will always bring something good out of it. God uses suffering to teach us. C.S. Lewis, you might all be familiar with him, another great apologist, Christian thinker of the 1900s, said, "Pain is God's megaphone to arise a deaf world." When suffering comes, people realize, oh, I guess I'm not God. And then they cry out to God, and there He is to answer. All of you would have examples in your own life. I'll just tell you real quickly. Mine, at 30 years of age, self-made man, I was a proud guy. I thought I was going to be a rock star, right? And I looked at my wife. We had a 1-year-old child, been married 5 years, and I saw that there was no love in her eyes for me any longer. She wanted a divorce. It was over. That broke me. I looked in the mirror and I realized I wasn't who I thought I was. And I'd made a promise. My mom had been divorced by my dad when I was 18. I was left in the house with her, and I remember for the next 6 months to a year listening to her cry herself to sleep every night. And I said, I'm not going to be like my dad. And here I was at the verge of being just like my dad. That broke me. That suffering, that pain brought me to that point of humility where I could realize I need God. I'm sure you could all relate to stories similar, how God has used pain or suffering to do great things in your life. Christianity helps us find meaning and comfort in the midst of pain that could not be immediately relieved or understood. It'll give us this peace that passes understanding. Fact is, in bold letters, Christians can live victoriously in the midst of pain, disappointment, and apparent failure. I don't know how many of you might be familiar with Joni Eareckson Tada. She was in a diving accident in 1967 and left her as a quadriplegic in a wheelchair. Today, she's an internationally known mouth artist. She draws pictures and paintings with her mouth. She's also a wonderful Christian vocalist. She's a radio host. She's an author of 17 Christian books and an advocate for disabled people worldwide. If somebody's going to complain about our situation, look at her. Attitude determines altitude. Attitude determines altitude. And our attitude is changed when we go to the Word of God and let God speak to us and change our minds. Can God do great things? Can He bring beauty out of ashes? Absolutely. That's the story of Christianity.